So this is just a quick one. I want to talk about data and how data changes as a Facebook campaign continues. Now, when you first launch a campaign, what you're going to find is all your attention is going to be on cost per lead. Like, how much am I paying Facebook to get an inquiry? That's step one. That is phase one of your campaign. After around 2 weeks, once you've generated around 20 to 40 leads, then it's cost per booked meeting. Because you could be generating £15 leads, but be paying £200 per meeting, or 150 for easier numbers. So 1 in 10's booking in. Whereas what could be happening is you could have a £50 cost per lead, but it's every 3 books in. So you're still getting the same cost per booked meeting, but you're getting less leads, which is actually better. Less leads for the same amount of cost per booked meeting is optimal. That's what you want. From the cost per booked meeting, let's say you're getting £100 cost per booked meeting for easy numbers, £400 cost per acquisition. So 1 in 4 is converting into a sale. Then of course you can look at the data of the ratio of ad spend in, profit back, revenue back, or whatever you want to say. Now, once you start getting the conversions in, right, you want to be looking at, okay, how do we optimize that cost per acquisition? How do we get a better conversion rate? Now, there's a few things you're going to look at, right? You're going to look at, one, which ad got you the leads that were converting. That is one thing you need to look at. Now, on more a micro scale, you want to look at what ads were bringing you the most booked meetings. So usually you're going to start there. Usually you're going to start at which ads are bringing me the most qualified booked meetings. That's what you're going to then eliminate some of your ad sets. That's where you're going to eliminate some of your ad creatives, and you're going to optimize and put some new ones in and put more spend into the ones that are performing well, because you should really be testing on a smaller budget, just some new ad creatives every so often. So I usually have like 2 to 3 winners in an ad set, and then I have 2 that I'm testing. And I just get an idea of what the cost per click is, what the lead is it spending on it. And if it isn't, then I make a new ad set with new creatives dedicated on their own, so they can get some spend while the winning ones are bringing us the booked appointment. So to recap, to bring it back, so you guys understand exactly what's going on. When you first launch an ad, your eyes are going to be on cost per lead, cost per inquiry. Then from there, it's going to be cost per booked meeting once you're 2-3 weeks and you've generated 20 to 40 leads, because that's going to give you an idea of, okay, are these leads actually even good when it comes to just the appointment setting side? Are we paying £10 per lead but getting £100 per booked meeting, so 1 in 10 leads converting? Or are we getting, £30 cost per leads, but it's £90, so it's 1 in 3 are converting into a booked appointment, qualified booked appointment? Then you need to convert that, right? Let's not get too technical with it, because it's already technical enough. Then once you're looking at optimizing that cost per booked meeting, what you're then going to do is look at the cost per acquisition. Now, you're usually going to get this around 60 to 90 days into the campaign, realistically. An accurate number as well, especially for that first kind of 45-day period. You need to give it at least 90 days to actually get a discernment on what the conversion rate is going to look like, what your long-term cost per acquisition is going to be, etc. So once you've identified your cost per acquisition, because you're figuring out, okay, 1 in 4 booked meetings convert into a acquisition, £100 per booked meeting, £400 cost per acquisition. Now you're going to look at, okay, where are we getting the booked meetings from? Let's get a lower cost per booked meeting. If we bring that down to 80, then our cost per acquisition in theory will come down by about 60 to 80 pounds if you get it down by just even that much. And then the way you're going to do that is realistically find out where ad spend's getting wasted. What ads are you spending? For example, today I was looking at some of the ads for one of our energy companies, and the one that got the most booked meetings was spending around 180 or 140, around that range, to get a booked meeting. And then one of the ads that performed well in November, although it spent less, was around a 50 to 70 cost per booked meeting. And it only booked around 3 to 4 meetings, and the other one booked around 18. Now, at surface level, right, some people might look at that data and instantly just think, oh, it booked 12 booked meetings, so we're going to up the spend on that. We call it the Tom Mann ad. And the other one's Richard Barter's ad. Richard Barter's ad, though, actually had the lower cost per booked meeting. So if I chuck more spend into that, there's actually a chance my cost per booked meeting average is going to be better on the Richard Barter ones, just according to that smaller sample size. Of course, at scale, it's always going to scale the cost per booked meeting. But me looking at that, I'm actually thinking, well, no, I don't want to put all the spend in Tom Man. I actually want to put a bit more into Richard Barter because I feel like that's unused potential. Tom Man, we can allocate the ad spend that's necessary to get one booked meeting, every 2 days, and then that Richard Barter one could be bring us one a day because we're running at around £250 spend right now. So we have the data and we have the numbers to really dial in our ads, and we've got a shoot on Thursday. So we're going to be dialing in those ads even more. So it's actually Monday I'm going to make the real changes. I think I'm just going to do some more small optimizers for this week. We've got a show, so they're going to get some leads from a separate network outside of the meta ads, which is good. But yeah, so really that's how it is. It's like as the campaign continues, your focus needs to change. Like I make this video from the painful experience being stuck in the lead cost per lead matrix, where it's like you're just so focused on cost per lead, £5 cost per lead, and then you're just watching the ads manager frantically. But once you zoom out, I don't care about cost per lead for at least 4 days of data. 4 days of data I need before I even concerned about a cost per lead, because you might get one day £50 lead, and then the next day get 30, and then the next day get 20 and 20, 20, 20. It continues like that. But if I were to look at those first 2 days, I'd be like, oh, £50, £80 for 2 leads, like that's crazy. But yeah, that's just a mindset shift that you need to have, and that's what comes with experience, and this is what I'm hopefully going to be sharing with you in these videos, because I do have 3.5 years experience, 3 years. I did a fashion brand, so that's why it's 3.5 years, but I don't really count those times because it's more passion, but I still don't meta ads, funny enough. So yeah, that's the metrics that you're going to be looking at. The cost per lead matrix, yeah, just avoid that. Make sure you're always on point with the KPIs that you need to be actually looking at, the ones that matter. I was getting £50 leads one time for a solo company, but they were paying like 180 per booked meeting. Like that is terrible metrics. And I had my data tracking wrong, in fairness, which is my fault regardless of data tracking or not. And I was there thinking they were spending like £50 per booked meeting. It was until we hopped on the call. I remember he showed me the real data, and I was like, oh my god, I've been reading this data so wrong. So yeah, that was again, that comes down to wrong data reading. Like it can really fuck up a campaign. It can really, really fuck up a campaign. So yeah, that is kind of the KPIs you need to be tracking with your meta ads. That's really what we focus on. That's how we get the best results in the game. And you got to track it on Google Sheets. Catch you later.